Welcome into the Soccer O.G. Today, a topic that is very near and dear to me, and it is the topic of pronunciations. Pronunciations of player names, cities, clubs, you name it. Everything in the world of the round ball. Because this is a global sport that we love, and it's coming closer together. Lines are being blurred. But if we want to get it truly right, there cannot be any half measures in the way we approach pronunciations. It has to be accurate, or it has to be whatever the players tell us it is, which may not be the way it's said in one culture to the next. But that is final. Anyway, pronunciations, it's becoming an industry now. When I started covering this sport in 1996, 97, we had one researcher. We had one researcher, man. We didn't have no internet. We had no Google. We'd have to call the embassies to get proper pronunciations. When I worked at Fox, we would just take guesses, and no one would hold them against us because the sport was just growing. But as I've gotten older, I want pronunciations to be accurate. I'll give you an interesting story. There was this French defender, Philippe Mexes. So he was breaking onto the scene. I was covering Ligue 1, and he was playing for Auxerre. And our researcher wasn't sure how to pronounce the name, so he says Mexes, M-E-X-E-S. That sounds good to me. So I was going Philippe Mexes, and he was having a great season. Finally, someone from the consulate called me and said, "Would you please stop saying Philippe Mexes? It's Philippe Mexes." I was like, oh, great. But you see now with the pronunciations, there's clubs, they give you YouTube videos with the players saying it. And if that's how they say it, that's the way you got to say it. But we still don't do it 100% accurately. I know our friends in England, they're trying very hard. When they get a player from Latin America, which is to be different from Spain, even though they speak the same language, the Castilian Spanish, which is the Spanish you would hear in the peninsula, the Iberian Peninsula, Spain. The Castilian Spanish, you say it one way. So Raul Jimenez, who plays for Wolves, his name is still pronounced Raul Jimenez, like Castilian. That's inaccurate. So we have to know those little inner workings. But we can't be lazy. We got to learn that stuff. The biggest abuser or abusee of all of this is anything from Brazil. We cannot say it accurately. I used to say it, I get laughed out of a room. UFC holds firm on how you pronounce Brazilian names. They do it accurately, where the D sounds like a J, where an R sounds like an H. I'll explain here a little closer. So when I would call these games, there was a guy called Grafite, Grafite. But it was actually pronounced grafite, so the T-E is like ch. Belo Horizonte is actually Belo Horizonte. But if you went out and said Belo Horizonte, you sound like a jerk. And welcome to Belo Horizonte. There's a lot of guys coming out of Brazil named Fred, F-E-R-F-R-E-D. But you pronounce it Frej, because the D sounds like a J. But if I said Frej, you would say you're being a you-know-what. I think that's going to be the last domino to fall. But this is what it really comes down to. If the Brazilian player who's in Manchester United says, they ask how you say your name, he's going to be a good guy and say how you want to say it. I don't want any problems. I don't want any problems with the media. You say whatever you want. I'll go about my merry way. So call me Fred. I wish they would stand firm and say, call me Fredgy, because it makes the world a better place. Major League Baseball, lots of Latin Americans playing there. I know for a fact when they're asked how to pronounce their names, they give the media the easy way out because they don't want to cause any problems. That's what Latinos are, man. Latinos, we don't want no problems. We want to be part of the bigger group. So we're nice about it. Felix Hernandez. Felix is how you pronounce his name, but he doesn't want any problems, so you say, call me Felix. Albert Pujols. Jose Alberto Pujols. I sound like a jerk again. But if we're going to do it half, if we're going to pronounce French names and German names and Dutch names accurately, we've got to pronounce the Brazilian names and the Mexican names and the Argentinian names and the Tanzanian names and the Honduran names and the Cape Verde names all the same. Dirk Kuyt, remember him? Wow, he put a wedge. People say Dirk Kuyt, Dirk Kuyt. It's Dirk Kuyt. But it took long. I'll leave you with this. We got to get it right because arguably the greatest player of all time, we've been saying his name incorrectly. It's not Pele. It's Pele. 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 And not Pele. It's Lionel Messi, not Lionel Messi. I'm sounding like a jerk. Anyway, it's very important to me. I just want to push this agenda so it gets through at some point. Please subscribe to the Soccer OG. Love chatting with you every week, multiple shows. Yeah.